The example from the lecture effectively demonstrates the technique of behavioral exposure. In the story, Tommy was initially afraid to talk to the neighborhood kids because he feared rejection or not being liked. His father used behavioral exposure by encouraging Tommy to engage in small, gradual steps with these kids. First, they simply said hi while walking past them, which helped Tommy see that there were no negative consequences. Then, on their way back, Tommy complimented one of the kids' bikes, further building his confidence. Through repeated positive interactions, Tommy's fear decreased, and he eventually felt comfortable enough to join the kids outside and make new friends. This process aligns perfectly with behavioral exposure, as it involves gradually increasing engagement in the feared behavior until the child overcomes their fear through safe, incremental experiences. The example from the lecture effectively demonstrates behavioral exposure by showing how Tommy overcame his fear of talking to neighborhood kids. Initially, Tommy was afraid they wouldn't accept or like him, so his dad used gradual steps to help him face this fear. First, he encouraged Tommy to simply say hi while walking past the kids, which was a small but manageable step. When nothing negative happened and the kids responded positively, Tommy began to feel more confident. The next step involved saying something nice about their bikes, further reducing his anxiety. Through repeated positive interactions, Tommy's confidence grew until he eventually felt comfortable joining the kids outside on his own bike. This gradual process of increasing exposure aligns perfectly with the concept of behavioral exposure, as it helped Tommy realize that his fears were unlikely to come true, allowing him to overcome them successfully. The example from the lecture effectively illustrates the technique of behavioral exposure by showing how gradual engagement helps overcome fear. In the story, Tommy was initially afraid to interact with neighborhood kids due to the fear of rejection. His father used behavioral exposure by encouraging small, incremental steps, first saying hi, then complimenting the kids' bikes. Each step allowed Tommy to face his fear in a manageable way without negative consequences. As he repeatedly interacted with the kids and experienced positive responses, his confidence grew. By the end of the day, Tommy had overcome his fear entirely and even made new friends. This progression aligns with the principle of behavioral exposure. Repeated, safe encounters reduce anxiety and build confidence.